Your test tomorrow covers sections 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3 part 1. Your quiz is very similar to your test. We're just adding on the long division and the synthetic division. So your test is, again, designate or designed the same way that your review is. It's about 6 questions, but again, you have multiple parts to some of these. So if we look at number 1, you have f of x is equal to the opposite of x squared plus 3. We're given x values of -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. We're plugging these into our function table, finding the ordered pairs, then plotting the points. So with the -2, it's going to give us the opposite of -2 squared plus 3. The opposite of the -2 squared, you got to do the -2 squared first, which is 4, then take the opposite of that, so that's -4, plus 3 gives us -1, so that's the ordered pair, -2, -1. Next, you have the x value of -1, so that's the opposite of -1 squared plus 3. That -1 squared is 1, the opposite of that is -1, 3 minus 1 is 2, so that's the ordered pair, -1, 2. Next we have 0, so the opposite of 0 squared plus 3. That's just 0 plus 3, which is 3. So that's the ordered pair, 0, 3. Next we have 1, so the opposite of 1 squared plus 3. The 1 squared is 1, opposite of that is -1. 3 minus 1 is 2, so we have the ordered pair, 1, 2. And lastly, we have the 2, so that's the opposite of 2 squared plus 3. Your 2 squared is 4. The opposite of that is -4 plus 3 is -1. So that is the ordered pair, 2, -1. We are first going to plot the -2, -1. So we're going to start at our origin, go to 2 to the left, then down 1, plot the point. Then we have -1, 2, so 1 to the left, up 2. Then 0, 3. That'll be the 3 on your y-axis. Then you have 1, 2, so from your origin to the right 1, up 2. And lastly, 2, -1, so from your origin 2 to the right, down 1. Now with these points, you are drawing your line through them and making sure you put arrows on both parts of your line. For your next question, you have the function g of x is equal to x cubed minus 1. You're given x values of -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So again, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the last one. Go number by number for our x values, plug them in, get our y, or our g of x in this case, and then state the ordered pair. Once we get all of our ordered pairs, we're going to plot them on the coordinate plane and draw our line through them. So with the -2, we're going to have -2 cubed minus 1. That -2 cubed is 8, or -8, sorry. Minus 1 is -9. So that gives you the ordered pair, -2, -9. Next, you have the -1, so that's going to give you -1 cubed minus 1. -1 cubed is -1, minus 1 is 0. So that's the ordered pair, -1, 0. Next, you have 0, so 0 cubed minus 1. That's just -1, so that's the ordered pair, 0, -1. Then you have 1, so 1 cubed minus 1. That's 1. Minus 1 is 0. So that's the ordered pair. Sorry, this 0 up here should be a -2. I'm looking at this. -1 cubed is -1, minus 1 is -2. So let's do it in the right color. There we go. So that's the ordered pair, -1, -2. All right, so back to the positive 1. You have 1 cubed, which is 1, minus 1 is 0. So that's the ordered pair, 1, 0. And lastly, the 2 cubed minus 1 is 8 minus 1, so that is 7, which is the ordered pair, 2, 7. So your first ordered pair is that -2, -9, so we're going to go to the left 2, then down 9. Plot the point. Then we have -1, -2, so to the left 1, down 2. 0, -1 would be -1 on the y-axis. 1, 0 is 1 on your x-axis, and then 2, 7, you're going to the right 2, and then up 7. So this line should curve up and to the right. down and to the left and look like a sideways S, or like that squiggly line. Your next questions ask you to state the domain, range, increase, decrease, constant, vertex, axis of symmetry, maximum and minimum, and the zeros. For number 3, you have a parabola that opens down, and it gives you the vertex, which is negative 4, 0. So your domain on this one automatically is going to be all real numbers, so from negative infinity to positive infinity. Your range starts at that 0 and goes down. So the range would be from negative infinity to 0 with the bracket on the 0. You do not have a constant on this, so that would just be none. Your increase is going from left to right and going up, so the x values that are covered are from negative infinity up to negative 4. That negative 4 gets a bracket on it. The decrease starts at negative 4 and goes to positive infinity. Then we have to also find the vertex, which is the ordered pair that I give you, so that's that negative 4, 0. Your axis of symmetry, I'm going to put this as AOS, is x is equal to negative 4, because it's the x value from your vertex. Your maximum or your minimum comes from your y value of your vertex, so that y is equal to 0. We also do have a maximum value since your parabola opens down, so I'm going to circle that maximum. From there, it asks you for your zeros. Your zeros on this are where that graph crosses or touches the x-axis, which is at negative 4. So that would just be x is equal to negative 4. For your next one, you have a parabola that opens up with a vertex of 0, negative 7. So with this one, your domain, again, automatically all real numbers since you have that parabola. Your range, it goes from negative 7 up to positive infinity. So the lowest number there is negative 7, and it goes up to positive infinity. Your constant, just like with the other one, is none, because there is no part that's flat horizontally. Your increase from left to right where it goes up is from 0 to positive infinity. Your decrease is going from negative infinity to 0. Your vertex, we said, is the ordered pair 0, negative 7. Your axis of symmetry is the x value from your vertex, so x is equal to 0. Your maximum or your minimum comes from your y value from your vertex, and that's negative 7. So y is equal to negative 7 is your maximum or your minimum. Your parabola opens up, so you have a minimum value, so circle that minimum. Lastly, you have your zeros. So that's where your graph crosses the x-axis. So that's here and here. So that's about negative 3.5 and positive 3.5. Questions. You're identifying just the domain, the range, the increase, decrease, and your constant. If you look at number 5, you have this graph that has an arrow on one side and a point or an ordered pair on another. So this does not have a domain that goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. If there's an arrow on both the left and the right of this, it would be. But because there's not, you have to give the domain as from negative infinity up to whatever that x value that it goes to. In this case, that's 11. So your domain is from negative infinity to 11. Your range, the lowest y value that you see here is negative 10. It will then continue to go up to not positive infinity. It'll continue to go up to where that point is, because that's the highest value. So that's at 6. So you're going from negative 10 to positive 6. Next, it asks you for your increase, decrease, and your constant. Your increase is where this line goes up from left to right. I have multiple areas, so I'm going to actually put this underneath. So your increase, you're going up from left to right in this section here and in this here. So that's from negative 8 to negative 5. And that's also from 4 to 11. So we have a union between two. For your decrease, you're going down here. You're also going down here. So that's from negative infinity up to negative 8. With a union from 5 to, where is this? Negative 5 to negative 2. Lastly, you have your constant, which is that flat horizontal part, and that's here. So that's from negative 2 to positive 4. For your next graph, number 6, you have a graph that has arrows on both sides, the left and the right of this. So the one on the left says that your domain goes from negative infinity up to the arrow on the right says that it goes to positive infinity. So your domain for this one is just from negative infinity to positive infinity. Your range, because both of those arrows go downwards, means that that goes from negative infinity, bless you, up to the highest value, which is 10. Next, you have your increase. Your increase is happening here as well as here. So that means that you're going from negative infinity to negative 7 with a union from negative 4 to negative 1. Next, you have your decrease. Your decrease happens here, as well as here and here. So we're going from negative 7 to negative 4 with a union from 2 to 5. Oops. With a union from 8 to infinity. Lastly, you have your constant, and you have two of those. You have one here and one here. So that goes from negative 1 to positive 2. With a union from 5 to 8. Your next two questions, number 7 and 8, tell you to divide using long division. So with these, remember, all of your powers have to be represented. If they're not, you have to plug in a 0x to that power that you're missing. From there, put the binomial on the outside, the polynomial on the inside, and work it through. For number 7, we have x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 69 divided by x plus 3. That x plus 3 is going to go on the outside. Your x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 69 is going to go on the inside. All of your powers are represented, so we don't have to add anything in. So I'm just going to rewrite this to have that x plus 3 on the outside. X cubed minus x squared plus x plus 69 on the inside. Your x gets multiplied by x squared to give you the x cubed. So we multiply the x squared by both the x and the 3. We get x cubed plus 3x squared. We subtract these. Distribute your negative. Change the sign on everything. Your x cubes cancel. Negative x squared minus 3x squared is negative 4x squared. We bring down your next term to have 2. On the outside, you have the x. So x times what is negative 4x squared? That's negative 4x. So we multiply that negative 4x by the x and the 3. We get negative 4x squared minus 12x. Subtract these. Distribute your negative. Change the sign on everything. We're going to be left with 13x. We bring down that next term, which is that 69. So that's 13x plus 69. All right, so from here, it would be 13 that you're multiplying by. But this gives you 13x plus 39. So subtract these, change your sign on everything. This gives you 30 left over. So since you have a remainder, that remainder has to go over what you divided by, and it's added to your answer. So you're going to have x squared minus 4x plus 13 plus 30 over x plus 3. For number 8, you have 3x to the 5th power minus 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 6x minus 4 divided by x minus 2. For this one, you are missing the x to the 4th power, so we're going to add in 0x to the 4th power. So we're really doing 3x to the 5th plus 0x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 6x minus 4 divided by x minus 2. So that x minus 2 is going to go on the outside. On the inside, you'll have the 3x to the 5th power plus 0x to the 4th power minus 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 6x minus 4. Your x on the outside multiplies by 3x to the 4th power to get the 3x to the 5th power on the inside. So we're going to multiply that by both the x and the negative 2. We get 3x to the 5th power minus 6x to the 4th power. We subtract these. Change your sign on everything. The 3x to the 5th power cancel. 0x to the 4th plus 6x to the 4th is 6x to the 4th power. Bring down your next term, which is that negative 2x cubed. From here, on the outside, x times 6x cubed gives us 6x to the 4th power. So we multiply that 6x cubed by the negative 2 as well, and that gives us negative 12x cubed. We subtract these, distribute our negative, change the sign on everything. We're left with 10x cubed, and we bring down our next term, which is negative 7x squared. From here, x times 10x squared is the 10x cubed. So it's going to give us 10x cubed minus 20x squared. We subtract these, distribute your negatives, change the sign on everything. We're left with 13x squared. We bring down your next term, which is negative 6x. We ask ourselves, x times what is negative, or sorry, is 13x. That is 13. Oh, sorry, we have x squared, so 13x. We multiply that. That gives us 13x squared minus 26x. So we subtract, distribute your negative, change your sign, combine like terms. That's going to give us 20x. We drop down that negative 4, so 20x minus 4. Your x times 20 is 20x. 20 times negative 2 is negative 40. We subtract these, distribute your negative. Your 20x's cancel, you're left with 36. That 36 is your remainder. So that means that you have 3x to the 4th power plus 6x cubed minus 10x squared plus 13x plus 20 plus 36 over what you divided by, which is x minus 2. For your last two questions, it tells you to divide using synthetic division. For number 9, you have negative 4x cubed plus 10x minus 12 divided by x minus 6. You are missing the, the x squared on this, so we're going to add in a 0, x squared, and that's going to give us negative 4x cubed plus 0x squared plus 10x minus 12. If we set that x minus 6 equal to 0 and we solve, that gives us that x is equal to 6. So on the outside, you're going to have your 6. On the inside, you're going to have negative 4, 0, 10, negative 12. Your negative 4 drops down. You multiply your negative 4 with your 6. That gives you negative 24. You put it underneath your next term, which is 0, and combine them to get negative 24. You then add your multiply your negative 24 with your 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 2 is 14. Keep it negative. So we have negative 144 plus 10, which is negative 124. From there, it's not negative 124, it's 134. So from there, we're multiplying that with the 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. 6 times 1 plus 2 is 8. So that's negative 804 plus negative 12, which gives us a negative 816. That negative 816 is going to be your remainder. The negative 134 is your constant. Negative 24 gets x. Negative 4 gets x squared. So that leaves us with an answer of negative 4x squared minus 24x minus 134 plus negative 816 over x minus 6. And again, that negative that's with the 816, it can either go up front or up top with the 816, or it can go in front of that fraction. So either one is fine. For your last question, number 10, you have 5x to the 5th power minus 10x to the 4th power minus 3x squared plus 7x squared minus x plus 2 divided by x minus 2. Change the negative 3x squared to be negative 3x cubed. It should have been squared. It should have been cubed. So, like I said, just change it to where it's cubed. All right, so if you do change it to where it's cubed, you have every power from the 5th to the power of 0. So your coefficients and constants are going to be 5, negative 10, negative 3, 7, negative 1, and 2. On the outside, you're going to set that x minus 2 equal to 0 and solve. You get that x is equal to 2. So that 2 goes on the outside. Drop down your 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Add that with the negative 10. That gives you 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Put that under the negative 3. Add that. That's negative 3. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Put that with the negative 7. Combine those. That gives you 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Add that with the negative 1. That gives you 1. 1 times 2 is 2, which leaves you with 4. 4 is your remainder. 1 is your constant. The next one to the left is your x. Negative 3 is x squared. 0 is with x to the 3rd power. And 5 gets x to the 4th power. Do we need the 0x cubed? No, so we're going to cross it out, not write it. So we're just going to have 5x to the 4th power minus 3x squared plus x plus 1 plus 4 over what we divided by, which is x minus 2.